Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a budget with me for the paycheck that I will be receiving on March 2nd, 2023 using the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. Very exciting to be starting out a new month in my Budget by Paycheck workbook. Since it is a new month, I thought I'd start out in my monthly spread. This is an exciting month for me. It is a 3-paycheck month that happens to me twice per year. I get paid bi-weekly, so twice a year there happens to be a month where I end up with 3 paychecks. I love when that happens. While I still utilize that 3rd paycheck to budget for bills for the following month, it does usually allow me to save a little bit extra that month, which is really cool. As you can see, I did add a little bit of deco down here. I got my hands on the TCMC budget washi tape, and it has been so fun to use it in my monthly spreads in my Budget by Paycheck workbook. For this paycheck, the paycheck I am receiving on March 2nd, we're going to be paying a couple of bills, but there's definitely some stuff on here with regards to savings challenges that we are going to address as well. So I thought that I would flip this over to the paycheck budget tracker for this paycheck, and we can get started with going through my budget. So as usual, I am going to be budgeting my income to be $3,100. It is a little bit closer to like $3,160. The thing is that my birthday is on March 1st, the day before I get paid. And every year on my birthday, my contribution to my retirement accounts goes up by 1%. So I'm not sure if that'll take effect for this paycheck or if it'll take effect for the 2nd paycheck in March. But even though it's a little bit above $3,100, I like budgeting low and then having that extra cash just sit in my cushion. But with this paycheck or my next one, I'm going to get an idea of what my paycheck's going to actually be with that 1% increase in what I contribute to my retirement accounts. So this budgeted amount might be off, honestly. We'll see how it goes. But I am budgeting $3,100. For the bill section, we don't have a lot of bills on my monthly spread. The only 2 scheduled bills that I have is my gym membership for $65 and then my Spotify for $11. I did do some spending on some on my credit cards last month though, so I do have to pay those. I like paying them before I even get the statement. Capital One is $66. This was specifically on something that I actually am doing for my birthday. Me and my friend are going axe throwing, and so I just popped it on my credit card. She's going to pay me for half of this amount, and then I'll take the other half of it. I'm budgeting the whole amount just because I don't know exactly when she's going to pay me, but what I'm actually going to be paying out of my own pocket is half of that, so $33. Chase. So this is specifically for parking when I'm at work. I used to have parking come out of my paycheck automatically, but the one office that I have to pay for parking for, I'm actually leaving that office. And so I ended up calling up my parking office for my employer and telling them that I wasn't going to be at that office anymore. And it just made more sense to just stop the parking right then and there. So for like the second half of February and the first half of March, so about 1 month, I'm going to be paying for parking out of pocket. So this was from February, $45, and then I'm sure like later on in the month I'll pay like whatever I end up spending in March on parking, but that's specifically what that's for. Discover 160. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what I bought that this ended up being. I want to say I put some concert tickets on my credit card, and if so, 120 of this is for concert tickets. Now again, that's something I'm doing with someone, so the tickets are actually $60 each, so I did already actually get reimbursed for part of that. I think that's what the most of this is. Everything added together, though, my 2 bills that are due plus me just wanting to pay off these cards, that all equals to $347. And if I subtract that from the $3,100 I budgeted my income to be, we're left with $2,753. And that's what I'm going to bring down to the envelope section. This is also called the variable expense section of the paycheck budget tracker. Basically, this is where you put in things that you know you're going to have to spend money on, but you don't have a set amount that you know you're going to spend. So for me, my categories and the amounts I budget always stay the same, but I might have different categories than somebody else. Someone else might have categories that fluctuate from paycheck to paycheck. For me, I always budget $200 for groceries, $100 for eating out, $75 for gas, and $175 for miscellaneous. Those are my 4 categories. If I add all this together, it does equal $550. And if I subtract that from the $2,753 I was left with after paying my bills, we have $2,203. And we're going to bring that up to the sinking fund section of the paycheck budget tracker. Sinking funds has been very, very exciting over the last few months. We started out the year with a bunch of sinking funds. I've very quickly been able to utilize what I call the sinking fund snowball method to reach goal on a lot of them. I basically, at the beginning of 2023, needed $490 a paycheck to contribute to all the sinking funds that I had. Once I reached goal on a sinking fund, I didn't contribute less overall. What I did is I took that money and I put it towards a different sinking fund that hadn't reached goal yet, and that allows me to reach my goals for all of my sinking funds a lot more quickly. With this paycheck, we're going to be putting $50 into travel. That's a rolling sinking fund. I always put $50 every single month into that. Black Friday is getting its usual $25. Christmas is getting $9 because it only needs $9 to reach goal. And then car insurance and taxes is getting the vast majority. It's getting $356. Giving is also getting $50, and that's a rolling sinking fund, so I'm just going to keep contributing $50 a pay period to it. If I add all of these together, it does equal my $490, and if I subtract that from the $2,203 I was left with after my bills and my variable expenses, we have $1,713. Now here's where things are changing just a little bit with regards to my budget. Over the last couple of months, in the first 2 months of 2023, I've talked about how I want to keep contributing to my house savings, but that my main priority right now is paying off my car. I bought a car in June of 2022. I really want to pay it off quickly. I have student loan debt, which I'm not currently paying on, but I have this car loan that I really want to get rid of as quick as I can. I have actually really started to actively really push for buying a house. I desperately want to buy a house. I want to buy a house so bad. And I've started working with a realtor again. I'm going on house tours. I'm doing all these things to try and find the house for me. And because of that, I've decided for right now, I want as much money as I can going towards my house. But I do, when I'm able, want to be able to put a little bit towards my car loan. So I have $1,713 after my sinking funds. I'm going to put $203 of that towards my car. Not a lot, but still something. Once I do that, I have $1,510 left over, and that's going to go towards my extra savings section. Now, I knew that for the 2023 savings challenges that I'm doing this year, basically I took old challenges that the Budget Mom has released over the last couple of years, and I picked and choose which ones I wanted to do each month throughout 2023. So for the month of March, there's actually 2 of them. One is going to come out of my variable expense cash envelopes, and one is coming out of my paycheck. This $210 is the one that's coming out of my paycheck. So I knew I needed to factor that into my budget. So I'm automatically putting $210 from that. But if I subtract that from the $1,510 we have left over after extra debt, it means that I could put $1,300 towards my house savings. So the vast majority of my leftover cash is going towards my house savings. If I add a 1,300 plus 210, it obviously equals 1,510. It means that we have $0 left over, which is exactly what we want. The Budget Moms method is a zero-based budget method, so you shouldn't be left over with any cash after you go through the paycheck budget tracker. Now, for the cash envelope breakdown for this paycheck, I did actually go through this and do this correctly. I've messed up on this a couple of times in the last few months. I've not fully finished it by the time I fill my budget with me's in the last few months, but I did make the effort to do that with this paycheck. So in terms of my variable expenses, I don't have groceries listed on here. I purchase my groceries online, and so I have to pay them online. So my grocery money goes into a separate checking account that I use to pay that when I have to make an online order. My other variable expenses I do take out in cash. So for eating out, we have $100, but I know I'm going to remove $50 from this envelope for one of my savings challenges. So I'm going to do that $100 in two 50s. For gas, I'm going to budget $75, but again, I know that I'm going to take $37 out for a savings challenge. So I'm going to do my $75 in two 20s, two 10s, two 5 and 5 singles. My $100 or my $175 for miscellaneous, I'm going to be removing $100 of that. That makes this kind of easy. I'm doing the $175 and $100 bill, a 50, a 20 and a 5. For my sinking funds, it's always largest denominations possible. I do the same thing with my savings challenges. So I have 200s and a 10 here. And then I have side hustle listed here. Right at the end of February, I ended up getting paid out from both Instagram and my Amazon affiliate. Both of those added together were about $50, and so I'm going to be removing $50 to put into my side hustle envelope that I have for myself. So all of the denominations are correct here when I factor in my savings challenges, and when I go to the bank on March 2nd, I'm going to be removing or withdrawing $1,100 from my bank account, and that's what we'll be stuffing when I do my cash envelope stuffing, which we'll be posting on Saturday. I hope you all enjoyed this budget with me. I had a really fun time doing this budget, actually trying to figure out how to balance my debt and my savings and all of that stuff. It was a little bit more of a unique challenge, I feel like, and that was really nice and kind of fun to do. If you have any questions about the way that I budget or how I use the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom, please do not hesitate to put them down below. And as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.